quite a lot.
The one thing with practice, though,
but it's just
practice makes permanent.
Yeah, it
So
does.
if you practice the same thing over and over again, keeping your head down,
without knowing what I was doing.
Exactly. You're gonna. So your fault, your swing before. So your right hand grip was a bit underneath, so we could see your left thumb there.
Yeah.
The club face started a little bit closed. If you look at the club face, those two club face there, that one's now pointing towards target because you can see the face. That one's turned in, so it's closed. Your grip there, your left thumb is visible here. It's still a little bit visible, to be fair, but not as bad. Okay. So all these little things we said that were causing the ball to go left, a little bit of left, a lot of the time creates a lot of left. So your club face went back. There's not much wrist hinge at the top of the backswing. Everything collapsed, so the left wrist was what we call a bit bowed. As you come down the golf ball, head staying down, body sort of stopping. There's no real twist through the ball there now. Your hands are just flicked over, head still down, and that golf ball now, when it made contact, the club face was pointing over to the left there. So it became a low left shot. So if you hit 100 golf balls a week, which wouldn't be a lot, but that's what people sort of tend to do, okay, down the range twice, 50 balls at a time sort of thing, you do that 100 times, you're ingraining that movement 100 times and again and again and again. So what we're going to try to do, once you've got that club square, get yourself set up. We're looking to try and hinge the wrist. The pivot, as we said, okay, when he moves, comes in the wrist. So you can see how much you felt that wrist was hinging here. Even that now, your right elbow is still quite high, and there's not as much wrist hinge as you potentially could. What you'd be looking for, there's your left arm. You want the club and that alignment stick to be more towards sort of a 90-degree angle this way, okay? Because the lack of wrist hinge, partly because of that right arm locking and everything trying to be tense to try and maintain the club face being straight, not flicking over, we're not hinging the wrist at all as much as we need to, but certainly more than we were. Okay, if we go back to this one here now, okay, that one there's no real wrist hinge at all, okay, and you see your arm now as you get to about here. At this point, the pivot's come in there, so your arm just collapsed, okay? So as you swing through now, the body is going to lead the club, so your hips are going to clear out the way, keeping those hands in front and twisting through. But you can still see, even when the shot's gone, you're looking down for something down there that's not there anymore now. Head staying down so long, and the longer that head stays down, but we've been told for years, golfers have been told, every lesson I ever give, keep your head down, keep your head, exactly, yeah. And again, habits do, I mean, habits don't always just go, boom, disappear. The analogy I always give is if you're driving your car and you're in the middle lane of the motorway going to overtake, your indicators are on one side of the steering wheel, okay, where it's left or right, whatever. So at 70 mile an hour, you go, okay, right, turn right, you just flick your fingers on the side you want to go. You do. It's habit, yeah? If you change car, or you borrow someone else's car, or whatever, and the indicators change, for the next 2 or 3 miles or 2 or 3 days or whatever it may be, when you want to go indicator at 70 mile an hour, the wind wipers come on. So you're used to doing it here and then now down this way. So instinct takes out, oh God, and you change it again. If you were sat in the car stationary and someone said, okay, right, put the indicators on, right, I'm not going any speed, I can process thought, indicators are on this side, put them on. Different car, right, car stationary, put your indicators on, right, they're on this side. I can process the thought, I can do it. So when you're swinging a golf club at about 70 mile an hour, if you're trying to think about this at that speed, the process isn't quick enough. So you go back to what feels comfortable. So your habit kicks in. And the old head down all the time is what's going to cause that. So the longer your head stays down, the less your body can really twist through. But that, for me, was a much better movement in terms of swinging the club through, even though when the ball's finished now, and then we sort of look for it as the club was coming back down. So really your head should be there when your club was sort of coming through about there. Seems a long time, okay? But if we think from 5.94... to 6.74, so less than a second your head's behind. Not much, is it, really? But it just seems a lot longer because the club's sort of up there and come back down. But it's all happening so quickly, it seems a tiny, small amount, okay? So if we can get that body leading a lot more, again, if we're tight in the grip, as you probably said you were, locking your arms to try and stop the over movement, okay? The second you're tight in the grip and the forearm, you're tight in the rest of your body. Exactly, the body can't move. So you've got tension throughout the body, the thought process keeping your head down, club face starting left, a grip that's going to hit the ball to the left, and those things, the body. The only way that ball could really go, Paul, is low left where it went. It's never going to go to target, really, unless you make a massive sort of adjustment, which you're not going to make consistently all the time. So get the club square to start with, okay? And I think in terms of practice now moving forward, hit as many golf balls as needs to be hit on the driving range until you can get a golf ball going right of a target you're aiming for. So aim for like a flag there and make some swings until this club face comes back this way, not that way as it's twisting through. Even when I was sort of stood there on the mat trying to sort of bring that club through this way, I could feel your muscles almost just instinctively trying to flick it this way. Okay, so those are the sort of things to focus on there. Practice that going forward, I would suggest.
Okay.
Do as many sessions as you can. Again, look at the feedback. The golf ball's going over there, low left. Your club's that way. Now, why is the club that way? It could be the grip. Double check the grip. Okay, you tighten the grip. Double check that. Okay, is your head staying down too long? Probably. Are you sort of not swinging with the body with the club overtaken? Does that all make sense as a concept? Yeah. Good. Right, have a couple more shots on the mat then. And